Today we are doing a really short sequence, express yoga. And this is just a sequence to give you something on those days that you don't have a lot of time, so that you can take even just 10 minutes to reconnect to yourself, just get into your body, move a little bit, breathe a little bit, and hopefully end up feeling a little bit more calm and peaceful. So we're going to begin in child's pose. So wherever you are on your mat, in your space, any variation of child's pose that feels comfortable and accessible to you, let's just begin there. Maybe closing the eyes and just taking a few breaths. And we're going to see if we can let these breaths be conscious breaths. So breathing into the belly, be deepening and lengthening the breath. Just scanning through the body while we're here. So just checking in, maybe finding a little bit of extra length in the spine. Let's wait for our next inhale breath to just slowly bring ourselves up into our all fours position. And just keeping that breath quite steady, quite conscious, just quite focused. Just take a little moment to move around here, just picking up the knees, the feet, the hands, and just seeing if you can really ground down, just connect to the earth. You might even close the eyes here. And just take a moment to really just spread your weight evenly, being aware of the breath, maybe aware of what's happening in the mind, but not worrying too much about what's coming up. Just bringing that awareness to your breath, focusing on inhaling and exhaling, and then just finding a point of stillness when you're ready, making sure there's length through the spine, our lower abdominal muscles are engaged, so we're not collapsing through our lower back, so hug the belly button towards the top of the pubic bone, ground down evenly through the hands, through the lower legs. Let's take our next breath in and just let the belly soften into your cow stretch, head looking forwards or up. Exhaling, cat pose, hug the abdominal muscles in, round out through the upper back, tuck the chin. Beautiful, inhaling, soften the belly once again. Exhaling to contract. Let's go one more time. So just moving with your breath. Just really moving with your body in a way that feels good for this practice. And let's come back to that neutral flat back position on all fours. Tuck the toes, come to a high plank for a moment. Of course, if you prefer, you can keep the knees down for this plank. You can be on the forearms if that is a better option for you. Taking 4 or 5 deep breaths here, in and out through the nose ideally. Hug the abdominal muscles in, ground down through your foundations, lengthen through the spine while keeping your center strong. And when you're ready, let's lift the hips. Let's find our downward facing dog. And maybe moving around a little bit in this down dog if that feels good. That might mean walking out through the feet, shaking the head. And I'll encourage you in this down dog, take the legs quite wide, maybe even as wide as the mat. You know, the feet are more in line with the shoulders or even a little bit wider. Engaging those lower abdominal muscles, lifting the sitting bones high. Beautiful. Okay, let's slowly walk the feet forwards towards the hands. Take as many steps as you need. Bend the knees if you need to. And then bending the knees, let's just roll up through the spine. Let the arms hang. Breath is flowing in and out. Take a big circle of the shoulders once or twice. Soften the knees as you come to stand. And just bringing the hands together at the heart center. Ground down through all 4 corners of the feet. Find the breath. Maybe the eyes are closed, or maybe you just have a soft gaze. Let's wait for our next inhale breath to bend the knees, take the hips back, keep the center strong, and reach the fingertips up. Biceps in line with ears if possible. Stretch the fingertips towards the sky. Breathe out, folding forwards. Inhale, find a flat back position. Exhale, walk the feet back into your downward facing dog. Option 1 is just stay here for the next few breaths if this feels nice. Option 2 is glide forwards into a high plank when you're ready. Keep the breath strong. Inhaling at your own pace and just slowly come onto the right palm of the hand and take the left arm up into a side plank just for a moment, bringing the arm down. Let's change sides. Coming through center. Keep the left hand down, ground down through all four corners of the palm of the hand. Right arm lifts, beautiful. Coming down, breath is flowing in and out. Let's all meet back in our downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Beautiful. As you breathe out, everyone lower the knees. Just sit back into a child's pose for a moment, maybe letting the wrists face upwards if that feels good. Take your time to slowly come back through all fours. Tuck the toes, lift those hips. Downward facing dog. Let's ground down through our left foot. Inhale, take the right leg up and back, keeping the hips square so the leg doesn't need to be high. Exhale, bring the knee towards your nose, round out through the back. Breathe in, take that right leg up and back. As you exhale, step the foot between the hands. Take as many steps as you need to get all four corners of your right foot flat. Option one, lower that left knee. Use padding if you need to under your knee or double fold your mat. Option two is keep the knee lifted. Ground down through all four corners in the right foot and then slowly make your way up into a lunge. Maybe the arms reach up overhead. If that doesn't feel very stable, the hands can stay on the thigh or on the hips. Beautiful. Slowly bringing the hands down if they're lifted. Coming down with control. We're going to slide that right foot back, coming into that downward dog shape. Option one, stay here in your downward dog. Option two, glide forwards into that high plank once again. Beautiful. Couple of breaths here. Engage the center. And then lifting the hips back up. Downward facing dog. Okay, ground down through your right foot. Left leg reaches up and back as you breathe in. Breathe out. Bring the knee towards your nose. Inhale, left leg goes up and back. Hips are square. Exhale, bring the left foot forwards. Take as many steps as you need. And we want to take the same lunge that we took on the first leg if possible. So if that meant lowering your back knee, lower it down. If you kept it lifted, see if you can keep it lifted. Hands might be on the thighs. They might reach up to the sky. Find your breath wherever you are. Beautiful. Arms come down if they're lifted. And we're going to slide that left foot back into that down dog. Now, if you'd like to, you can lower the knees, come to your child's pose for a few breaths. If you want, you can stay in downward dog for these next few moments. Or third option, you can glide back into that high plank. And very, very carefully, you might start to extend, rolling over onto the tops of the feet, maybe sinking the hips down towards your upward facing dog, if that feels accessible. We shouldn't feel any pain in the lower back. Using our core, lift the hips, come back through plank. Come over the tops of the feet. Downward dog. And now let's all meet in child's pose when we're ready. Lower the knees. Lower the head. Maybe spin the palms to face up. Take a few breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready to come back up into all fours, and I want you to bring your right foot forwards. And again, take as many steps as you need. Maybe even use that right hand on your ankle or shin to help draw it forwards. We're going to sink the hips as far forwards as feels good for you. And then just letting the breath flow in and out. We're just going to rock between walking the hands back. And you might flex that right foot, and some of you may even come all the way down to sit sort of on that heel if that's okay for your knee. And we're just going to rock forwards between this lunge and this sitting position. Okay, so just doing what feels good for you. Breathing at your own pace, moving at the speed that works for you, and only going as far into this dynamic movement as feels accessible and feels safe. Okay, so that might mean that you have a much shorter range of movement. That's absolutely fine. We're really just trying to listen to our bodies in this short practice. And to be honest, we're not trying to really over push anything. We want to challenge the breath a little bit, wake the body up, build a bit of heat, but we want to make sure that we're being safe. We're really listening and respecting to our body. Beautiful. Okay, slowly come back into your all fours. Give the hips a little bit of a side-to-side shake if they need to, and then bring that left foot forwards. We're doing the same thing. So adjust that foot if you need, and just find your lunge. How Where does it feel good to just let the hips sink forwards? And then with your breath, just slowly move for a few rounds, forwards and backwards. Really just seeing if you can be aware of what's happening in the groin, in the hip, maybe in the hamstring there might be something going on. Maybe this movement is really about syncing your breath with the way that you're moving your body. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to slowly make our way back up, coming into all fours when we're ready. No rush getting there. And when you get to all fours, again, give those hips a little bit of a shake out if they need it. We're going to tuck the toes. One last time, lift those hips up into one more downward dog. And then you're going to take your time to walk the feet forwards towards the hands. No rush getting there. Finding that flat back position when you're ready, taking a breath in, extending through the spine. Exhaling to release. And then breathe in, bend the knees, engage your center. Find that chair pose once again. Exhale, hands to heart center. Come back to stand. And maybe just close the eyes or soften the gaze. Pause here for a moment. Scan through the body. Beautiful. Release the hands. Let the eyes open if they're closed. Bend the knees. Keep the hands either at the hips or bring them back to heart center for a moment as you come down into a little bit of a lower chair pose. Engage the center. Lengthen through the spine. And then exhale when you're ready, folding forwards. Beautiful. From here, let's walk the feet back. We're coming into our child's pose. So if you want to take a little bit of a pause in the downward dog, you can fit that in, that's fine. But finding your way into a child's pose, pausing to listen to the breath. And then just gently walk the hands in, bringing yourself off your knees onto your sitting bones. And just finding a cross-legged position here, any cross-legged position. Fine. If you need to use or you want to use props or blankets or bolsters under the hips, go ahead. Okay, so we're just taking a moment to sit tall. Beautiful. Let's wait for an inhale breath. We're going to reach the arms up overhead, fingertips stretching towards the ceiling. If you can, biceps in line with ears. As you breathe out, let's bring our right hand towards our left knee. So we're twisting and we're scissoring the arms open. And you can let the arms stop at whatever point feels comfortable. They don't have to come down to the knee in the ground. Okay, beautiful. And then inhale, bring the arms up, come back through center. Exhale, other side. Left hand to right knee, right fingertips maybe down to the ground. Inhale, come up. Do that one more time to each side. So just gently rotating through the spine here. And again, we're not pushing, we're not forcing anything, we're just trying to work with our body. Finding that alignment every time we come through center. Beautiful. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold forwards this time. Stop at whatever point feels enough. You can soften the head and shoulders if that feels good coming forwards. If it feels better to keep the spine in alignment, that's absolutely fine. And just slowly walk the hands up. Change the cross of your legs over, whichever leg you have in front. Just switch them around. Same cross-legged position that you've been doing. And then just walk those hands forwards once more. Find the breath. When you're ready, walk the hands up. It's up to you to finish our practice. If you would like to lie down and take a minute of Shavasana, you certainly can do that. If you would prefer to have a seated meditation, that is also fine. So just choose what feels best for you today in this moment. Again, using any props that you may need. We're only here for a minute, but do make sure that you feel safe and comfortable wherever it is that you are choosing to be. And either closing the eyes or just letting the gaze soften. See if you can let the breath just come back to its own natural pace. So let go of deepening the breath. And just observe any sensations that you feel in the body itself. Anything in the mind. And remain aware of the natural breath coming in and out of the body. Whether you're sitting up or lying down, you are welcome to bring the palms together at the heart center if you would like to. Just finishing our practice by taking one last breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, and letting your eyes open when you're ready to. Thank you very much. See you again soon.